go into contemplation, where we go within and we find that still small voice, and we have communion with the divine, with the Spirit that feeds our soul, nourishes our bodies. It is in this time that we get to decide. We get to be powerful. We get to find peace. And through this peace, we find love. The love that we, each one of us, are here to express and to share. Let's breathe into that. Feel what that feels like. Experience the tingling in your arms. Experience the feeling of your heart opening wide. As we breathe, we are reminded that each breath we are given life. Each breath that we take, we are given the opportunity to have power and dominion over our thoughts, over our words. And we get to choose what actions we're going to take. We get to decide that these actions are good. That our thoughts are supporting us and loving us. Take another deep breath in. Knowing and experiencing the oneness through that Christ consciousness that is within us all. Experiencing the love that we all seek and desire. Resting and sitting in the peace that is guaranteed to be ours. As we move into a time of silence, I invite you to bring somebody with you, and through your thoughts and your mind, somebody that you know, that maybe you want to celebrate with them, a beautiful thought. Maybe they need healing. Maybe they were intending to be here this morning, and for whatever reason they weren't able to. This is the time that we can bring them in to our consciousness. We become one. We become not separate, but whole. Remember the love that you wish for yourself and for others. And take that into the silence. as you bring your thoughts back into this room. I invite you to remember that peace that you felt. And as you start to maybe wiggle a little in your chair, you remember that you and I are one. That each one of us, as we stand in love and peace, are the true expression of God. That through that Christ consciousness, through that love, through the greater good, we are. And so it is. Amen. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How's everybody this morning? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
How many of you remember the commercial from Irvin's?
When the lady used to stand at the glass pane window and she used to say, open, open, open.
Don't you wish sometimes that you would do that to your brain when it doesn't speak and you want to go,
Open, open, open to the presence and power of God that is within us. Doesn't that sound so much better?
I kind of like the lady in the Irvin's commercial.
She was pretty amazing. She had me going to Mervin's quite often, actually.
I wanted to get up at 3 in the morning and do those things.
So what inspires you? What inspires you to take action in your life? What inspires you to be all that you can be? What motivates you? Is it your neighbor? Is it a child playing? Is it the birds singing? Is it when somebody makes food and shares it with you? That would be for me. Little foodie that I can be. What is that? So I ask you, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
What are you ready for? Are you ready to live a life that is empowering and purposeful? Are you ready for that? Well, I'm ready for you to be ready for that. Because you are all here to stand in God's light, to be God's light. You know, when they asked me and they said, Cindy mentioned that we were talking about the 12 powers this year, which I thought was fabulous, and that power and dominion was our focus for this month. And I thought, what can I talk about that would correlate with that? What would Philip say? Because Philip's the apostle, that spy, right? And the power and dominion and what that represents is the words, your tongue, the power that you have in the words that you say. So if you are, as you say, ready to live your life with passion and purpose and prosperity, what steps are you willing to take that are necessary to go a little bit deeper than you've gone before? To take the steps that are necessary to go deeper and to be absolutely certain that God is calling you to a higher, better calling, more powerful calling. I'm telling you that I know that I can look at you and I see that God is not only calling you, that God is calling me. God is calling each one of us to be the expression, right? To be that expression of love and peace. To be that expression of prosperity if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking to have fun, then God's calling you to do that. Go out and have fun. God wants each one of us to live a life with love and excitement. Do you believe that?
Yes.
I believe that. I'm looking at you and I see it. You are that. The question is, are you willing to do the work that is to live that life abundantly and more powerfully and more purposefully? Are you willing to go deeper, to look within yourself to the connection and the oneness with God? Are you ready to be mindful of your words? Are you ready to be willing to speak your truth with power and conviction? Are you willing to live your life, your dreams, for a prosperous life? How many of you believe your words have power? They do. Everything, right? You get up here and when you make announcements and you bless the food, or you say welcome, you say welcome. Here's your name. Do you have a name tag? You want to know? Do you have a name tag? Absolutely. Your words have power and they have meaning. And what God is saying is that when we express ourselves, when we are that expression and we have that power behind our tongue, it is up to us to have belief and strength on the inside. Now that can work for our favor, and that can work against us. But let's talk about what Jesus said first before we talk about how it can work against us. Jesus said, I came to you that I may have life and have it more abundantly. And God wants us to be fulfilled, to be prosperous in love, peace, and happiness. He wants us to love and to be loved and to have peace and joy in our lives, in our relationships, in the work that we do. But sometimes where we run into trouble is when we don't trust. We don't trust ourselves. When we see lack or we see limitations. Or we don't believe that our dreams can be even obtained, or they're not even reachable. That's where we can run into problems, into errors. That's what stops us when we live in fear. False evidence appearing real. Or sometimes when you feel like your hair is on fire and you go, oh, forget everything and run. That's another acronym for fear. Forget everything and run. Isn't that what fear takes us to? We say, hands up in the air and I'm done. But that's not what Jesus said when he says, I came here to have, that you may have a life and have it more abundantly. He didn't say throw your hands up and run. He said throw your hands up and celebrate who you are. To believe and have faith and trust in that power of God. Trust in your words, trust in your being, trust in every inch of your being and every inch of you, who you are. Trust in your neighbor, love your neighbor. That's what Jesus was saying. Anything that we desire is ours to have. Living a powerful life means that we must first show up and participate in the process. How many of you are guilty of not showing up and participating in the process of wanting a more prosperous or loving life? Okay, there was 3 of us. Okay, I'm on a roll. Well, the 3 of us can relate to this statement. I'm so glad for that, and I know those of you that didn't raise your hand, perhaps it wasn't you. Perhaps it isn't you, because isn't that what we're here to do, is to be a divine expression? That means that there are people on this earth that are doing that. And we wish to do what they are doing.
Do you need some water?
I do. Can I grab my water real quick? Excuse me. It is our spiritual, it is our spiritual responsibility to act and do and accomplish good. It is our responsibility to believe in the power of good that is within us and release when we consciously speak positive, powerful words. When we speak our truth and we release and we let it go, it's very contagious. Wouldn't you agree? Mm-hmm. Right? Zoe got up here and she did the daily word, and she says, she was like, here we are, right? We're here, one. And she said, it's cool. And everything else it did right over my head until she said it's cool. I'm like, God, there's her truth. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I heard it because she believed it was cool. Those words are what makes us who we are. And when we speak them. God said in 2 Corinthians 9:8, it says, God is able to provide you with every blessing in abundance. What he is saying is, whatever you set your mind to do, do it. If you choose to forgive, forgive with the power in your inner voice. If you choose to love, do it with the power in your heart and in the power of your spoken word. This power and conviction will bring blessings beyond your comprehension. Don't live in limitations, but live in and through the conviction of your thoughts and your words. I don't know about you, but today I'm going to choose to deny my limits. How many? I don't know. I can't, if I set a limit, then I'm limiting who I am. I'm putting a lid on what my possibilities are. So I'm willing and I'm ready to let it go. No more limits. Anything is possible. Life is possible. The expression of God through you is possible. You're not separate. We are not separate. I don't know if that I could say that enough today. But we are all one. And each one of you in a collective consciousness, we are here to create a better world. Wouldn't you agree? Mm-hmm. We are here to create that world. So I say to you, let the limits go. If you are holding any limitations in your life today, let it go. See the possibilities that it could bring you. If you're looking for love, see what that is. We have to remember to expand our thought process and to consciously say yes to life. To follow our passions and our dreams and to live our lives with purpose. An example of living your life and letting go of all the limits. As many of you know, you've had me back here. I was looking at my talk series that I've given here. And I was looking back, and in 2012, in the beginning of 2012, I started this journey with this amazing community. And I was confident I was going to become a unity minister. And I was confident that by long before now, I was going to be a licensed unity teacher. And I was confident in all that life had to offer me. And what life has shown me is that nothing except for the love of God is continuous, is the same. But even then, God's love shows up and expresses in different ways. Wouldn't you agree? Mm-hmm. I decided that I didn't want to move back to Missouri. I think I've shared that with you. I don't want to move back to Missouri for 3 years. My granddaughter is here. She's going to be 4 on June 1st. I love this little girl with all of my heart. My family is here. My friends are here. I said, but God, how do I serve? And I got quiet. And there came another opportunity. And I went to seminary school and I became an ordained New Thought minister. And the ordination was beautiful and it was loving and it was kind and we celebrated it and I didn't feel guilty. But that I know that my licensed unity teacher process that I had to put on hold from April to August will happen. I'm done. I'm ready. It's on self-forgiveness. I can do this. Right? That's what my talk is, my SDS week at Unity Village, right? But you have to let go. So what did I do? I just let go. I said, give me, show me, how can I serve you and others in a more greater, more meaningful way? And I did that, and no regrets at all. No regrets at all. Matthew 7:8, it says, for everyone who asks receives, and everyone who searches finds, and for everyone who knocks the door will be opened. So how many of you are willing to be called to go deeper? How many of you are willing to be called to go deeper? Yes. Willing is all it takes. Then the next step is well, I'll tell you what the next steps are going to be. If you are willing to go deeper, if you're willing for that calling, then the doors will open for you. The pathways will become apparent, and the work will be presented. And sometimes it's about just forgiving. The work is about forgiving. Maybe the work is about just acknowledging. But the work will be present in your life. Anyone can look at themselves at a surface level, but it takes great courage to expand our minds and to forgive and to let go of the past, allowing us to have a more meaningful and prosperous life. So what steps do we have to take to become aware of our limiting thoughts, to speak the power of our voices, or to live the prosperous life that we so are looking for? First, we seek God's guidance by surrendering all of our thoughts and ideas of lack and limitation. We get quiet and we ask, how can we better serve in greater ways? And are these words we're speaking empowering us, or are they disempowering us? Debbie Ford was one of the best authors I found for self-help for me. And she has a book called The 10 Right Questions. I invite all of you to grab that. But she talks about that. Are my thoughts and words moving me forward to my goal, or are they keeping me stuck in the past? So we get quiet. That's our first step. We get quiet and we go and we have that communion with God, with Spirit. And we say, what is it that I can do differently to be a better person, to be that expression that I claim to be, that I want to be, that others see in me that perhaps I can't see in myself? And then we become willing to pay attention to whatever is revealed to us and change our language of our spoken words. And through the self-discovery, we can see the effect it has in our lives and the lives of our loved ones, or even our coworkers. And once we see a pattern, we can decide to eliminate the words we share, or we can, and that aren't moving us toward a life of love, happiness, and excitement. Through this process of elimination, we can take the time to find out who we once were and who we really know ourselves to truly be. We may find out having this awareness, making better choices, and how we speak our truth can open the door for many pathways of prosperity. Right? So we've gotten quiet. Now we've become listening. We're listening, and then we become aware of what is stopping us. Are we standing in our power, or are we disempowering our lives? Are we helping our neighbor, or are we keeping them stuck in the past? How many of you have somebody in your life that perhaps isn't the most positive person in the world? And you want to help them, but you're stuck on how to do that? Well, this process that we're talking about this morning, you can help them by just standing in your own truth. You notice I didn't say you can change them, because no matter how much we try, we can't change somebody else, can we? But you can help them by standing and understanding your spoken words. So if they're not the most positive person, or they're negative, or however you choose to call it, what do you think you can do? But stand and speak positive words without judgment, without condemning them, without harsh words. But you speak it from a place of love and confidence and peace and joy. If you want more prosperity in your life, you speak those words and you live those words. Maybe that just means that if you want more prosperity in life, maybe it's more prosperous love you're looking for. Maybe it's, I want to drive a Maserati or a new car. Maybe it is that you just go out and do the action, right? You get quiet and say, okay, I'm going to buy a new car. What car do I want? Getting quiet, I'm listening. Are the words I'm speaking, am I saying, oh, I can afford this, I can't afford this, what am I doing? I'm looking at that, and then you go out and you drive the car you want. You're taking action. We have to take action in our life if we want to see the change that we want to be. You agree? Mm-hmm. Yes. So those are the things that we do. So again, we get quiet. We go to God, we go to source, whatever that is for you. And you go inward and you find in that inner place, that inner place of peace and that oneness with God. And you wait for it to be revealed to you, and you celebrate what is that has been shown to you, whether it's good or bad. It's all a perception, isn't it? We look at our words that perhaps were revealed that we need to change in our life. And we start speaking more positively about what we want and desire, who we want to help, who we want to encourage. And then we just be it. Our responsibility and our job is just to do it. Just do it. Isn't that Mikey's logo? Just do it. It's Michelle's logo, Reverend Michelle's logo, to say, just be it. Right? Just be it. Be that person that you desire. If you see somebody that's not where you believe them to be, see them as whole and not broken, because we are not broken. We, each one of us, are an expression of God. We are whole and we are complete. It doesn't matter if you've gone from a size 10 to a size 14. It doesn't matter if you've gone from a 14 to a size 6. You are still whole and complete. That this physical body is an expression of our love that we have for ourselves. But that in truth, that each one of us are a representation of who we are in some facet in our lives. Do you believe that? So don't hesitate. Just be it. So I ask you, are you willing to seek God first in all the things that you do? To surrender your thoughts that are not of love and kindness towards yourself and others, and be dedicated to self-discovery with a passion to live your life abundantly and to share it with others. Are you? Yes. Yes, we are. So I want you to remember that when you align your thoughts, your words, and your actions with the power center that is within you, you are an expression of God in action. God bless.